4th be with you on an amazing day from the Isle de Notre Dame. Welcome to Montreal. Welcome to the second Gilles Villeneuve. For the first time, the Winstel Cup Series visits Canadian soil. Race 9 of the Winstel Cup Series season from Montreal. First road course race of the season. Will make things very interesting. The first road course of 3, joining Watkins Glen and Sonoma later on this year. Race 9 of 25 in the calendar, following a wild race at Charlotte a weekend ago. I'm Carmen Sienna behind the production booth. Just alongside me here, Anity Pulsatrix, to bring all the action here tonight. It will be a very wild event. That is for sure for all these drivers joining and racing at Montreal for the very first time. It shouldn't be a long event, all things considered. Only a 24-lap contest. However, that doesn't mean that it's not pivotal. In fact, it usually means it's even more pivotal than normal. These 24 laps, a chance for some of the road course ringers to make their way forward and show their prowess here for the first time before an extended spring break. 9 races in to this season. We will have a 4-week off period for the Winstel Cup Series beginning next weekend all the way until the month of June. Sort of how we had the summer break last season. We'll have it in the spring this season. Gilles currently the fastest driver on the circuit, the 22 Bill Davis Dodge, sitting fastest of the bunch so far. He's got a 1:39.66 on the board. Times top of your screen in this practice session. And this will be a very interesting race to see. You see a lot of the gravel on the racetrack here through practice. That'll be cleaned up for qualifying, but showing how difficult it has been for these drivers, most of which have never raced in a major capacity in the Montreal street circuit. So let's kind of walk you around a lap here of the Montreal circuit. There's Ashley Collins, the 45. Also looking good right now, top 5 in practice time so far for Collins, trying to shake off a very bad result in the FTF series last night. Crashed before it really even started for her. .71 miles, 13 corners around this racetrack. It is a temporary street circuit. It doesn't look like it, but this is a man-made little island, the Isle of Notre Dame, just there in Montreal. Used regularly for things like bicycling events and marathons and other community events in the area. Ever so sporadically shut down, either for the Canadian Grand Prix or for races like this. Scenic island you're seeing here, and you're seeing one of the cars sitting restrained, celebrating May 4th, Star Wars Day. Christina Ryan, one of those 2 cars, her teammate Kyle Benson, also sporting a Star Wars machine. You'll see them twice this season. This is the first time. You'll see them later this season as well. Number 2005 was the same year that the Revenge of the Sith came out. Ever so polarizing film at the time, has aged favorably as time has gone on in terms of its attachment to the new generation of Star Wars fans. Christian Budd, your defending champion, said he wasn't expecting a lot after his podium last time out of Charlotte. Didn't expect to do well in Montreal, had not raced here before. 20th fastest. Knows he has a lot to work on. He knows a lot of it's under braking in these Cup cars. Not where he's most comfortable. So he knows his work to do, and he's working on it right now in that USG sheetrock for Taurus for Roush Racing. There are some favorites in the field. Kotak, Roberts, Collins. Collins now 3rd fastest. Josh Chen, open wheel ace in the FDF community. Ryan Andrew, top 5. Evan Locke should be pretty decent. They're sitting 6th fastest in practice so far. Keep an eye on how some of these drivers move along here in Montreal. Warm-up coming to a close. And we'll get ready for qualifying. Everyone's got one singular lap to put things together. And for the first time this season, no danger of bumping out of the field. Everyone that's going to be starting this race, everyone that qualifies will start a race here. For the first time this season, 9 races in, we have not, until now, we've had more than 43 cars every race. Cars on racetrack at the moment. Christian Budd, Christina Ryan, Ashley Collins, Jacob Potak. I think the person to watch would be Potak. Between Potak and Collins. Got a couple of cars returning as well. The 77 Austin Reedy back on track here after a couple weeks away. Here is the 22 of Potak on your screen. Dodges look extremely fast here in Montreal here this evening. On board with your 22, your points leader. Trying to just expand the margins here in Montreal. Running around the racetrack here, you see him not slowing at the wheel too often much, which is great. There's one track where you really can't muscle yourself out of it. Through the hairpin. And now down the long back straightaway, leading into the famous chicane and the Wall of Champions. Almost everyone on the racetrack doing either practice or qualifying at this point. All but 3, Laudenslager, Phillips Snipes, and Steinhauser. Car in the fence, Josh Chen. He will reset here. He's got the time to do so. Very important. The same rules apply on the road courses as it does for the ovals. You cannot touch the walls. And importantly here, you can't touch the grass. A 1X or 1 incident point invalidates your lap time. Seeing that riding aboard with Jacob Potak here as he rolls through the corner. Thread the needle between the S's. Very close confines. Last time the NASCAR series raced here in any capacity, 2007. It was only the then nationwide series that made any appearances in Montreal. Very poignant. It's been rumored that there's a chance that the NASCAR Cup Series could visit Montreal for the first time in sometime in the next couple of years. In addition to its first race in Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Coming up later this year. Potak down the back straightaway now towards turns 12 and 13. Heavy braking into the chicane. Gotta nail it here. It's gonna take a little bit longer to see times pop up on the board. The Potaks will be one of the first. Across the line, Christian Buddy 141.46. Potak 139.23. Only one so far in the 139s. Keeping an eye on Ashley Collins to see what her time looks like here. As times roll in, Dylan Roberts second fastest. Alex Chilcutt goes second fastest. And times beginning to really cycle through here. Ashley Collins, I don't believe her lap time counted. It did not. She was starting near the back of the field. She was third fastest in practice. It will not show in qualifying. So when you look at someone, arguably like the 09 Larry Pace, there's Solis Jr. on your screen as well, back after missing the 600 last weekend. Seeing what he can do here in Montreal. A few Canadians in the field. Brendan McGee qualifying 22nd currently. Nick Doucette, Hayden Repas, Larry Pace, the 3 Canadians that have yet set lap times at the moment. Solis across the line. Good enough right now for 15th place. Times top of your screen. Potak with a 1:39.23. Chilcutt 1:39.25. Emily Howe did not have the pace in practice, showing it in qualifying top 4 starting spot. And Ryan Doucette's going to throw his lap away. Actually, no, he's qualified 10th. That was his cool down. He qualified 10th. Larry Pace qualifying only in the 30th spot. Actually did not set a lap time. My apologies. So qualifying over and done with here. As I mentioned, we're going to have a full field ready to go for this race. And I was also incorrect. So we did have, once again, go home qualifying only 1 spot, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, double checking on this as we see the results top of your screen. Jacob Potak, Alex Chilcutt, Dylan Roberts, Emily Howe, Ryan Andrews, top 5, Evan Locke, Sean Peleg, Kyle Benson, Davila, and Ryan Doucette, your top 10. Really good job by Sean Peleg to get to that top 6 starting spot. Jeremy Davis, Christian Budd, row 6. Austin Reedy, Jordan Barabee, row 7. Mike Rasmus, Jose Suarez Jr., row 8. Tom Willett, Ryan Hill, row 9. Gabriel Mauricio and Anthony Krovac in row 10. Christina Ryan, Matt Taylor, row 11, excuse me. Corey Cook and Brendan McGee, row 12. Andrew Griesbaum and Ken Huff, row 13. Then it's Chris Bishop and Alex Bates, row number 14. Hayden Repas did not, hold on, give me 1 second. He did qualify, my apologies. Ahead of Larry Pace. Those are the safe cars in the top 30. Nick Doucette, Josh Chen, Brandon Coppinger, Parker Alexander, Ashley Collins among the list of drivers that did not set valid qualifying times. Kirk Marble, Philip Snipes, Matt Sisler, Brandon Cruz, Craig Lautenslager in your top 40. Steve Brown, Tyler Murray, Matt Skipper, and Corey Steinhauser, the 44 cars that qualified. We do have 44 cars starting this race. Ken Huff using the provisional given to him. He's got 3 to use throughout the season, using the second one. He'd already used 1 before. Using the second one here today in Montreal to ensure we have a 44 car starting grid. Drivers I'm keeping an eye on right now, they're mostly at the front of the field. Ashley Collins, 35th, going to have a lot of work to do. Tom Willett, going to be in the number 21 machine, going to be starting top 20 as well. We'll see what he can do. He's got typically some pretty decent road course pace, excuse me. Everyone getting ready to go here this weekend. Four cars selecting to start from pit lane here. Parker Alexander, Philip Snipes, Craig Lautenslager, and Chris Bishop starting from pit lane. Jacob Potak and Alex Chilcutt, front of the field. 43 Cumming race cars getting ready for racing here in Montreal. Through the last corner, waiting for the green flag, long way down this front straightaway. Green flag flies and away we go. The summer ball in Montreal is underway. We'll spin throughout the field as they roar into turn 1 and have to come down to a crawl in this group. A little bit of contact. Chilcutt moved Potak out of the way, and they will be 3 wide on exit. So Chilcutt takes an early run here at the race lead. Cautions, they are possible here on the road courses in the Winstel Cup Series. This was one of the first problem areas we could see that take place in. But everyone tiptoes their way through just fine. Corey Steinhauser starting and parking this race under the weather. Draws us down to the 43 car format. Chilcutt Ahead of Potek, ahead of Roberts. No one's going to be comfortable in this race. It's all about mastering the twists and turns of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Caution has come out. It is down the order. Josh Chen is where the spinning begins. The 93 spun around, and we are under caution for the first time today. Anthony Krovac, among those that have also had issues. 89 to Hayden Reefus also having problems here. Anthony Krovac claiming responsibility for the first caution of the day. We'll look at him here. We have one of our cameras out of front and center through the second chicane. And he just loses it on his own there. Josh Chen goes for a spin. That's where he gets a piece of it. Track blocker there. Makes things a little bit difficult. And a caution for the first time today. And there's only going to be 2 laps of caution here. Short caution procedure. Running on board here with the 11 of Krovac. He wasn't 20th, just ahead of Tom Willett and Josh Chen. Josh Chen getting caught out by that more than others. Everyone now behind the Porsche 911 pace car. First time we've not had the Ford Mustang as the pace car this season. So just 2 cars involved in this first caution, both of them spinning on their own, but spinning on the same part of the racetrack. Long pace laps here in Montreal. Emily Howe running through the grass. Running through both sides. That's intentional. Yeah, that's intentional. I don't think that cools down the tires anymore. I think they patched that. Doing it again. This is unusual. There's not really a benefit to this. You're either making the track dirtier, which makes it harder to grip, which is not great, or you're making your tires worse, which also isn't great. And also your tires, you can't cool your tires down anymore with it. After the good old sports car debacle we saw a couple years ago. Several cars coming down pit lane. You know what? I guess Chevrolet makes lawnmowers now. I guess the GM's got a pretty decent lawnmower. It's a slightly used lawnmower for sale, 725 horsepower. A lot of cars on pit lane at the back of the field. Around here on the racetrack, addressing a slight issue we had with the ticker overlay. It showed a couple cars at the front of the field. Corey Steinhauser, it was showing Mike Rasmus, and I believe Ken Huff was the other one that was showing at the top of the board. Tyler Murray is the other one that was showing the 07. These were cars that started on a different timing loop when the formation lap began. It takes 3 laps for that to sort out. We are on lap 3 now, so now it's sorted out. Well, we were. Corey Steinhauser still on pit lane. And Steinhauser's race is over. This is the starting park we were talking about with Steinhauser. So Corey Steinhauser's race is done and over with, along with the failure to start for Craig Lautenschlager. This gives us 42 cars running, all of them on the lead lap. And the fastest lap belongs to that of Parker Alexander. Not that it matters, because we've only had a partial lap under green. But you are going to see the lights on that Porsche pace car are on. So we are going green at the end of this lap, as expected. It'll be Chilcutt, Potak, Roberts in front of the field. None of the top 25 came down pit lane. Single file restart per normal Winstel Cup Series rules. As they roll through the chicane past the wall of champions. Having to hold the slow 60 miles an hour to the green flag. And here we go. And here comes the scramble into turn one. This time, with a lot more impatience, Potak goes straight to the outside for the race lead. Doesn't get it, not even close there in that turn one occasion. And here comes Dylan Roberts trying to battle for third with Ryan Andrew and Lee Howe in fifth. Sean Peleg in sixth. Evan Luck. Tom Willett. Willett is spun around. Nose in the fence. There's the 21 of Willett. All the way down to 40th place and stuck. Being passed there by Ken Huff. He is stalled. There you go. Back up and running now. He was really in trouble there. All the way down to the last place running. Chilcutt underway still at the front of the field. This is where the caution came out last time we went through this occasion. This time we are green, and it is Chilcutt, the Net Zero Chevrolet, leading the way over the Pulsar. Dylan Roberts in third, Ryan Andrew in fourth. Trouble for Ryan Doucette, 13. He has had issues. Chilcutt leads lap number 4. Probably do not have much of a replay on this one for Ryan Doucette. I'll kind of just summarize it for you here. Oh no, Matt Taylor hard in the wall of champions. Really hard in the wall of champions. As we're going to summarize the Ryan Doucette incident, Ryan Doucette just spun in the casino hairpin. Pancaked into the tire wall for the 32 of Matt Taylor. A hard impact there. Battle for the 6th spot between Peleg and Evan Locke. Evan in a new look in that gold Miller Lite Penske Dodge. A lot of curbs being used here. The striped concrete curbs being used in full force. These 3,400-pound stock cars going over them in force. Solis Jr. running us a little bit wide, battling with Gabriel Mauricio and the 41 of Jordan Barabee. We have a giant gaggle of cars outside the top 25 as well. It is a gaggle all over the place. A lot of cars just kind of strewn about as we finish lap 5 of 24. 19 laps to go already in this event. On board with Barabee. Only one spot down from where he started this race. some pretty big movers in this race so far. None more so than Steve Brown. Both the Penske Enterprise Dodges up multiple places. Steve Brown up 19 spots. Ashley Collins up 17. Parker Alexander up 10. There's Steve Brown, our biggest mover so far. You see it right there from 41st to 21st. Now make that 20 spots up as he got around Kirk Marble. And there is Ashley Collins up 18 spots now to the 17th position after getting ahead of Austin Reedy. Christina Ryan now the next target. See lap speeds as they run. Got a couple of laps at speed, and here we are. Off track for Brandon Coppinger, the 66, the rookie. Not having a great time. You see just down the road, down the straightaway, going towards the final chicane and the Wall of Champions once again. Goes in on Christina Ryan, who's got a lot of time at the circuit here in Montreal, but not in these cars. All of it is in open wheel machines. Fun fact, Christina Ryan's the only driver in history to be a part of all three broadcasts we've had here at Montreal. Champ Car Season 2, High Performance Season 1, and today. So, her time in Canada well documented. There's the issue with Coppinger. Coppinger losing more and more time here, as is Brandon Cruz. Locks up in turns 1, goes wide in turn 2, as they both battle with Matt Skipper. Ryan Dissett trying to charge his way back through the field. Gets around Corey Cook and Parker Alexander. That puts Ryan Dissett up to 23rd place on the running order. Battle side by side for the road. Jeremy Davis battling with Gabriel Mauricio, Jordan Barabee in tow. This is the group that Christina Ryan and Ashley Collins are in, just behind Jose Solis Jr. And a little further down the road, Christian Budd. Down the straightaway into the chicane. For Christina Ryan, one of the two Star Wars cars in the field. After being passed by Collins. Actually, apologize. I believe we have even more superhero cars in the mix, with Nick Doucette running a superhero car of his own. Also running a Star Wars Revenge of the Sith machine, this time with Yoda on the hood. So there you go. A bunch of people getting in on the Star Wars Day events. Although none of them having a ton of fun. Being down, battling just to stay inside the top 20 at the moment. 17th and 18th is for Christina Ryan and Nick Doucette. Kyle Benson, only the only one having fun, sitting top 8 at the moment. In 8th. In that Sith-inspired machine. Christina Ryan getting around the 41 of Barabee. Target machine following down another spot as Christina Ryan makes her way up to 16th place. At the front of the field, it is still in the favor of Alex Chilcutt. Chilcutt, Potak, and Roberts still within a second of each other at the moment at the front of the field. These are the pace setters. They have walked away by over a second and a half to Ryan Andrew and Emily Howe. clinical procession here at the front of the field. The tires, they do work quickly. Alex Chocat looking to try to capitalize with the race win. See what he can do. Trouble further behind, seeing if they're connected or not. Tyler Murray went off the track. Let's see. What about Ken Huff? Ken Huff also spun around, but in a separate part of the racetrack. That was out of the casino hairpin. That Ken Huff was around the wrong way. That Valvoline number 10, not having a great time. Now down in 41st. Corey Cook struggling. Also the 31 right there on cue. No damage for 31, so I believe this is just an off the track incident for the 31 at Cook. This would have been almost a lap ago for Cook. Yeah, just running a line, running off the racetrack. And here's Kirk Marble, the 16. Chevrolet to Ford from Richard Childress Racing to Roush Racing. Walks up early, clips the grass, approaching the hairpin. Almost tags Steve Brown, gets past by Ryan Doucette. So dropping a couple positions, but overall, not bad. It could have been a lot worse for them. I believe we're back to live pictures. Here we are, here around the hairpin. The race leader still up and running in full charge. Closest battle right now is just outside the top 10. It's Collins and Jeremy Davis once again going at it for 13th place, just behind Jose Solis Jr. Collins left up just a little bit here, has to switch back and go the other way, and that's where Davis has got the favored momentum. And Davis holds on. Really good run by Jeremy Davis up the road just a little bit. It is Christian Budd versus Jose Solis Jr. They are side by side just up the road. Who's going to get that win out there between Solis and Budd? It is going to be Solis. And whoa, Connick's loose on the entry to that chicane. Clobbers the curb. And now under threat from the Brazilian, Gabriel Mauricio, former Daytona 500 champion. Side by side, entering the second chicane. And Mauricio thinks better of it. Can't go side by side here in these cars. Mauricio giving Collins trouble as Christina Ryan watches and waits. Farabee trying to battle with Ryan Doucette to keep that position. Not going to happen. Ryan Doucette charging forward again after running wide and losing a boatload of positions on the restart. Kirk Marble's also lost touch with Steve Brown, now holding up Brandon McGee and Parker Alexander. There's this little battle here. McGee and that Mountain Dew number 9, thinking about sending it into turn 12 and 13. Thought better of it. Still trying to find a way around. On lap 11 of 24, we're almost to the halfway point already. This race will be done before we get to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Another issue for Tyler Murray. He went slow in the hairpin once again, but looks like he's fine. Corey Cook is in pit lane though. So first green flag pit stop of the day belongs to 31. And standard pit stop up and away for the singular wireless number 31. Little wide for Brendan McGee. He'll lose 2 spots to Alexander and Josh Chen, while your leader begins to think about lap traffic potentially. Just down the road a little bit, Dylan Roberts did pass the 22 of Potak. Potak ran a little wide in turn 1. Dylan Roberts capitalized and grabbed that spot. Racing all over the place here in Montreal. You expect that when you have 42 cars running on the racetrack at the same time. Oh, Roberts really running a very interesting line in turns 1 and 2, and it's working. believe there's an issue with Sean Peleg, I believe. Let's see what's going on with the 48 of Peleg. I don't know if we have a replay on it or not. I'll double check and verify this. He's on his own at this point. I'm just kind of reviewing on my own here because we don't have a really good replay angle. This is into the hairpin, and this is running wide to the hairpin. So yeah, Sean Peleg just kind of punching himself in the foot a little bit. Sean Peleg just right now running running sixth still, so nothing's changed there, but he is not any closer to the top five. The top five on their own little island here. And you see them on your screen. Corey Cook, though, not Corey Cook, that is, oh, huge catch there. Great job by our production team. Amity catching a really good crash here. Two Dodges together. The 77 and the 41. That is Austin Reedy and Jordan Barabee. Two cars involved. Not on the racetrack. There needs to be three for it to be a caution. Here's what happened. And this is Barabee chasing Austin Reedy. Does he get help from Steve Brown? Not really. Reedy just checks up and locks up into that first chicane, and they both go for a spin around, and Reedy goes for an extra spin. Back on the racetrack in real time. Cars in pit lane. Ryan Andrew, Sean Peleg, Kyle Vincent, Jose Solis Jr., Jeremy Davis, Christina Ryan, Gabriel Mauricio. First big round of pit stops coming in now. Alex Chilcutt lost his race lead while we were looking at the incidents going on the racetrack. It is now in the favor of Dylan Roberts and that number 6 Ford Taurus for Roush Racing. Car we also saw at North Wilkesboro a few weeks ago. Running strong once again, this time at the front of the field, ahead of Jacob Potak, your points leader. And Chilcutt now down to third. A lot of cars in and out of pit lane. You'll see even more so across this line. This should be the only pit stop they make in the race. Based on the numbers we have right now, we have crossed the halfway point. We are coming to lap 14. So now we have to figure out if the undercut or the overcut works. Chilcutt really losing time. Just not having a fun time now in that 0 car. And straight off into the pit lane. Here comes Dylan Roberts and Potak and Chilcutt. How about Emily Howe? No, Emily Howe stays out an extra lap. One more go around for Emily Howe, and this is going to be a lap lead for your second place in points driver who won at home last weekend. Emily Howe back out front here in Montreal this time. But she is the only one in the top 10 that stayed out that time. 20-second gap. That's what is currently out there to Ryan Andrew. That's the pace that she's got to beat. Luckily, the pit lane faster than the others. At Watkins Glen, it's 35-mile-an-hour pit lane. Here in Montreal, it is 50 miles an hour. So she should not be in danger of going lower than the top 5 here. Cloud cover going to help make the tires last a little longer. Going to cool the track down importantly. These tires have been dying throughout this race so far. 33 degrees centigrade is the track temp. 20 degrees Celsius is the air temperature, excuse me. For those wanting that in Fahrenheit, it is approximately 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 92 degrees track temp. Next to no winds on the racetrack, about 1 mile an hour from the southeast. And here comes the 15 of Emily Howe. A couple lap cars coming in as well. It's the 10 of Ken Huff. Coming down pit lane. Chilcutt should still comfortably have the race lead here. Took a 2-tire stop, importantly. So that's an interesting sort of call for the race leader. Chilcutt was third entering, gained about 5 seconds on that pit stop by only taking 2 tires. So Sean Peligan, the 48. Right now in the 6th position. Emily Howe leading pit lane right now. Here's that battle for 5th. Leaving pit lane and actually really slow on that pit stop as well. Not a great time in 6th place on the road. So lost a position handily. Lost 2 positions handily, actually. Front of the field is closed up behind lap traffic. Gap is now less than a second from Chilcutt, Roberts, and Potak. Also a battle for 13th once again. Larry Pace, Christina Ryan, Christian Budd, Ryan Doucette, and Ashley Collins. And here you go. Here's that battle. Everyone trying to get around the Canadian Larry Pace. Christina Ryan, first to go up the road, 13th place for her. If she can hold on to it, her next target will be Jeremy Davis. Everyone's scrambling to get around Larry Pace. Pace is not yet pit. He last came in on lap 2 under caution. So he's extending his run. Collins behind the defending champion. Christian Budd just up the road. Top 3 all together. As is this group battling to get inside the top 12. Larry Pace struggling on those older tires. Battling to stay ahead of Christian Budd, will not do so. Budd clears out of the hairpin. Collins will try to do the same. As Larry Pace is coming in, he gets the right-hand side. He gets clear, and he does go right-hand side. So that makes Josh Chen and Nick Doucette go to the inside lane. And Larry Pace to the pit lane, down to the slow 50 miles an hour. Caught in the fence is Chen. No, not Chen, sorry. Wrong car, caught up the very wrong car. That was Tyler Murray that was in the fence. The 07. I saw a red number and black car and thought Josh Chen, but Tyler Murray's running the black and red number again. So this is Tyler Murray who ended up in the fence. This is sort of where my monitor was located at the time. And this is right in front of the leaders. He spun out. There's Willett. And you can see the scramble. I apologize to Tom Willett, number 21. My speech impediment does not let me say that name correctly at all. Matt Skipper in pit lane. Some of the holdovers from the first caution of the race on lap 2. Coming down pit lane now. We saw Larry Pace in, Matt Skipper now in as well. Another issue here. There's Steve Brown and Parker Alexander side by side. Slow each other up through the chicane, or through the hairpin, excuse me. And Alexander gets clear of the 43. Everyone should be good for the rest of the race here. We're going to keep an eye out. Once again, Chilcutt has lost the race lead. We saw that race lead lost for Chilcutt, dealing with the lap traffic. Jacob Potak also slowing down here. It is Dylan Roberts back to the front of the field. Potak locked up there just before camera switched over to the battle for the front of the field. Ryan Andrew shadowing, looking for another mistake to try to get onto the podium. Another lock up there by the 22 of Potak, trying to avoid the 66 of Coppinger. Bud down in 14th place. You see him here. He started this race in 12th. He's not gaining any positions. Battling, sending it down the inside into the hairpin. Almost going around. A little too ambitious there for Christian Bud. He's trying. He knows the braking is where he's losing all of his time. He's trying a little bit too hard and cost himself as a result 2 spots to Chen and Collins. Side by side now, down the straightaway towards the chicane. Final chicane of the lap will be the 24 of Nick Doucette. And make that 3 spots lost in 1 lap for Christian Bud. And trouble still. Ooh, look at that run. Collins ahead of Christina Ryan, who did not have a great chicane to end the lap. Collins now to 13th. Ryan to 14th ahead of Josh Winstel, who's in the top 15. Christian Bud had a slowdown for cutting too much of the chicane. And now you see this battle here. Ryan Doucette, Nick Doucette, Gabriel Mauricio, Christian Bud. Here's the battle for 3rd. Battles all over the place here. Chilcutt in the 3rd spot. Ryan Andrew wants it. Austin Reedy, long way around, but he's on his own. Will stay green. Along the waterfront. There they go. Into the chicane. In the infamous Wall of Champions. Chilcutt overdriving just a little bit. Side by side, Christian Bud and Hosolis Jr. Nope. Not sure if that's side by side, but they were in the same area. Solis, there you go, and he's gonna get another slowdown. That's not good. Didn't even try to fully make that chicane. They have caught up and passed Jeremy Davis like he was standing still. Look at Collins go. That is for the 12th spot. Davis could do nothing in that battle. Oh, and just kind of looked up the road here. 21, Tom Willett. Around. He was the first car lap down. His race going from bad to worse. Here's the 21, the Wood Brothers Ford. He locks up under braking, and there's nothing he can do. Then Roberts leads the way, and Protac is closing in. Protac running aboard with him here. The pole sitter is trying to get that race lead back here. Couple battles really good at the front of the field. Battle for first, battle for 3rd, battle for 7th between Sean Pellig and Lucas Davila. The Argentine having a great race as well. There's Ryan Andrew chasing down the podium. That skipper with problems. He's gone wide in the hairpin. There's Davila in the 7th spot. Not a good move for Coppinger. Really bad move for Brandon Coppinger. Shut down right in front of Sean Pellig. Watch that happen live. Not what you want to do as a lap car. Pellig in that battle, not lifting. And you see the struggle he's had down in 39th after starting this race in 33rd. Yeah, that just... At that point, you're a lap down, your last car going, you're 2 laps down actually. That's sort of what you just need to be a little bit more spatial aware. If you're going wide, just run all the way wide. Sean not pleased because now the front of his car is damaged. He's got to hold off a very fast Argentinian. And Luke Stavila looking for his first top 10 this season. Look at this charge for Kolonix and Josh Chen. They have already climbed up to the 11th and 12th spot. They just passed Jose Solis Jr. They've got eyes set on Kyle Benson and Evan Locke. That's how fast they're going right now. Absolutely speedy on the racetrack. Kolonix, 141.6 that last time around. We'll see what the time looks like here. Across the line this time for Kolonix. 141.6 again. Only driver faster right now is Emily Howe. And you see Kolonix's lap time, the average compared to fast lap to now. Absolutely electric stuff. Catching by about a second and a half a lap. That's going to be enough to get to Benson and try to get to the top 10. Kolonix, we said, was top 5 in terms of pace in this race, and this was an example of it. Ooh, close to the wall there, close to the Armco. Kolonix not wanting to be denied. Battle for third. Andrew sent it into the hairpin. Andrew sent it into the hairpin. There you go. You see the part of it. Ooh. That was wild. Andrew's going to give the spot back, I think. Yeah, giving the spot back. Redressing the position for Chilcutt. That was a spin through the hairpin. We'll see if we can get a replay of it because that was wild. There we go, into the hairpin here. Brian Andrew absolutely sends it from a mile back. Just doesn't give up on it. And then you see he just loses it under the rear braking there. Pushes the zero off track, hence the redress. That's the fair thing to do. If you, in that situation, you redress it and give it another go and try to do it again. But wow, that was a move. Kolonix behind Benson, and there's Cobbage at the lap car again as they come around for 3 to go. This is to get into the top 10. Big lock up there for Benson. Couple more moves, couple more laps. Kolonix can kind of phone this one in a little bit. Trying to get around the 66 Coppinger, who is just, you see the damage on the 66 car, it's not great. And not pleased with the lap car of Coppinger either. Oh no. That's bad. That's bad. That is horrible. Coppinger spins Kolonix, and Kolonix drops back down to 13. And Kolonix making Coppinger very aware of how much he just messed up again. Kolonix really unhappy there, and you're going to see why. Replay on your screen. Coppinger just sending it way too deep as a car 2 laps down. That's just something he can't do. As a driver, that's the most frustrating thing. On board with Jose Solis Jr. And he's gonna make out like a bandit here. Get back up to 12. And see, whoop! Good juke there. Getting around and getting back to 12th place. So Coppinger putting more work on the 45 crew. Battle for third, still raging on with 2 laps to go. 1.5 laps here at this point for this group. And Solis just gave the position for 12th right back to Kolonix. Dylan Roberts leading the way, getting around Corey Cook with about a 1.3 second advantage over Potak. Corey Cook being a gracious back marker, letting the leaders go by. Battle for third raging on once again. Very good look here. Brian Andrew trying to over-under. and they both have the same idea. Look, the curve on the hairpin, and they're dancing through towards turns 11 and towards turn 12 and 13 now. Wheel spin for both those cars, not making life easy. One lap to go here in Montreal. Absolutely wild stuff here. Going through the corners. Walk up from the lap traffic. This will be a factor. That's Skipper and Griesbaum in the way of Chilcutt and Andrew. And they are going to try to thread the needle. They both let him go before continuing their battle. Smart move. They know they're not on this battle for the lead lap. They're a lap down, well and truly, and Skipper makes out like a bandit and grabs 34th. Chilcutt has a half a lap to hold on for third place, but this is the part of the racetrack where he is the weakest. Josh Chen battling with Kyle Benson for the 10th spot. Battles all over the place. Benson locks up and is going to give it right to him. Maybe! No. Just spins up to the 93, and there goes Collins for 10th. Collins gets 10th after all. Dylan Roberts, meanwhile, is going to come to the chicane for the final time. Huge gaggle of cars here throughout the field. Out of the chicane for home. Dylan Roberts grabs his first win of the season. He wins in Montreal and sets the record book there ahead of Potak. Battle for third, not as close anymore. Alex Chilcutt will come around to take that final spot on the podium. It is all over the place. It is spin. Ryan DeSantis, more trouble in the hairpin on the lap. It is all popping off here. The smoke will take a little bit to settle on this final lap. Ashley Connick ends up with the 10th spot, following the spin of Josh Chen in front of Kyle Benson. Nick Doucette ends up in the 11th spot. Slow down for Josh Chen will give up 12th and maybe 13th for Christina Ryan. Yes. Wow. 12th place for Christina Ryan in tonight's race. A slowdown for Josh Chen gave it all up, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy people on that last lap. Oh my God. Dylan Roberts, though, not going to be an angry face, going to be very happy. So will Potak, given all things considered. And Alex Chilcutt will hold on for third place here. Dylan Roberts, your race winner here in Montreal. Absolutely wild turn of events. I have never seen a last lap like that. Oh no. So, correction of something. So oh no, so there was a technical issue after Collins, a severe technical failure at the start-finish line. Collins was 10th. That is no longer the case on our timing screens, which is why Christina Ryan got moved to 12th. We'll wait for correction on that. Obviously, they're going to have to address that for a moment. The normal circumstance is that just unfortunately doesn't count. And Collins ends up being classified here, as you're going to see on our screens, in the 32nd position. Dylan Roberts burning it down in the turn one runoff. We'll talk to him once he's done burning it all down. but a wild, wild race here in Montreal. Oh my goodness. Pulling your top 10 up here right now, it's Dylan Roberts, Jacob Potek, Alex Chilcutt, your podium. We'll see who all we can talk to here in just a moment. Ryan Andrew in 4th, Emily Howe in 5th, ahead of Sean Peleg, Lucas Davila, Ryan Hill, Evan Locke, and provisionally at the moment, we'll wait for this to be finalized, Nick Doucette with the misfortune of Ashley Kolonix. Doucette right now in the 10th spot. Again, waiting for official confirmation of that. How fitting for a Canadian driver to get a win on home soil. The first time Winstel gets here is Dylan Roberts front of the field. Let's go ahead and talk to one of the national drivers, a Canadian on home soil winning in Montreal. Dylan, this is Carmen from the APN booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
First time in Montreal, a wild race throughout the field. Not so wild for the 6 camp, and a win here to help get things on the right track. What's it like winning at Montreal, winning on home soil for the first time in Winstel history, and obviously being able to hold off and really kind of take the challenge to a couple of really fast road course ringers?
Oh, it feels incredible. I mean, after last week, missing the strategy, taking a swing at it, running out of fuel late, finishing a lap down, I think maybe 2 down. It's good to have a momentum reset here, get a win. I mean, Montreal, as a Canadian, that definitely means more. I've been with this league for so long. There's always been these one-off road courses, and usually there's a guy named Zach Campbell standing in the way of me winning it. So it's nice to be able to beat some guys that are just absolutely road course ringers of the same caliber, I'd almost say. And to do it at Montreal, that was not an easy race. I am absolutely wiped out. The focus that one took, just to keep the car in between the lines, not lock up a tire, not spin the rears up and kill them. I mean, that was tremendous.
Obviously a wild race here, very straightforward, a one-stop strategy game. Obviously you all, most of the leaders, everyone in the top 25 didn't pit under the lap 2 caution. Thankfully, the only one we had, it looked like it was very possible that this would be a start-stop race tonight. That was not the case. Being able to get into a rhythm, important on these road courses. How important was it being able to focus on just the cars around you and being able to navigate the traffic without having to worry about all the calamity?
Yeah, definitely thankful that I qualified and didn't mess that up, get a 1X or something, just be mired back in traffic, because this is not an easy place to pass. You really, really, really get bogged down when you're in traffic, especially the first sector in a restart. You lose easily 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 seconds to the leader if you're back there, just based off of it's a traffic jam. You can't go through them, can't go around them, there's grass there. And that kind of lends to a formula of stop, go racing, like you said, and that was the worry, right? You get an early caution, oh no, this is it, we're going to be wrecking all night. But we went green from there, and that was perfect. It didn't change the strategy in a way that we had to fuel save, and we had a split thing where it's, who made the right call, staying out and saving, pitting and pushing. We got to kind of run it out, have an actual race, like strategy race that we kind of planned for, have the one stop there in the middle, try to figure it out. I think everybody took 4 except for Chilcutt. It looked like he was struggling. I don't know if it was slowdowns or what, but I mean, him and Potek especially up front, insane pace. I had to work so hard for that one. It's an incredible race.
A fantastic job for the 6 crew here, grabbing your first win in that 6 car for Roush Racing. And that moves you top 4 in points going into this spring break, this 4-week off period we have going up. Being this high in the points, obviously we know how good you are. You were one of the championship contenders last season. Being able to continue that momentum forward and being in this group, despite all the new faces at the front, what has that feeling been like going into the spring break period, getting ready for this reset? What's that feeling like knowing that you still got it and you're still right there in the mix with everybody?
It's a good confidence booster here going into the break to get the momentum swinging my way, especially after last week. It's nice to get that first one in the 6 as well. I grew up a Dale Jr. fan. I drove the 8 car for the last couple of years there. That was for me. That was nice. It was nice to be putting him in competition. But my dad, growing up, he was a Mark Martin fan, and so chose this car for him in part. Beautiful scheme. I always loved Mark, but that definitely pushed it over the edge. And to get a win And to be running so well in points is huge. And to do it with this paint scheme as well, the one-off throwback here for this wildcard race, I mean, it's just the best possible way you could end this section of the season going into the break. So hopefully we can keep the momentum up. Hopefully I'm in the chase. And hopefully I'm giving a similar interview with the championship later on this year.
Absolutely a fantastic way to look at it here. 4-week off week coming up here. Before we let you go and let you get ready for that extended time off to recharge and refresh, if there's anyone I shout out and say thank you to, Dylan, the floor is yours. Congrats on an amazing job here in Montreal. Race winner for the first time this season.
Oh, just a tremendous shout out to everybody that makes this league happen. Like I said, I've been here a long time. I mean, I've been going on 9 years, which makes my back hurt just to think about. So the fact that we're still here racing with fields like this, competition like this, it's amazing. Everybody that makes it happen, everybody that shows up, everybody that competes, the broadcast, I mean, everybody. It's just so much fun every week to come here, forget the real world, race really hard, fair, and just enjoy the night. Hopefully there's many more of that to come.
Absolutely a fantastic job for the 6-star team tonight. Dylan Roberts, winner in Montreal. First time belongs to Dylan Roberts. Congratulations, Dylan. We'll see you again in June when the season kicks back up again.
Thank you so much.
That was Dylan Roberts, our first place finisher tonight, race winner in Montreal. First time the series has gone to Montreal, and it belongs to a Canadian, Dylan Roberts, front of the field. It wasn't without its challenges, though. Jacob Potak, the pole sitter, gave up a valiant effort to try to go for that race win. Points leader still by a healthy margin. Jacob, close, not terrible, but walk us through what could have possibly gone a little bit better for that number 22 team here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I pretty much was in second the whole race. First was changing hands, and I would just still stay in second. But I definitely, the first lap, it was awesome to get pole, but I didn't even lead a lap, so it didn't turn out that awesome. But first corner, I just ate too much curb there, and was expecting to have 4 tires on the ground. All of a sudden had 2, so a lot goes through your mind there. But Alex in second did a good job to not plow through me, so that was nerve-wracking. And then on the first run before the first pit stop, Dylan got by me because there was a chicane I cut a little too far in on, got a slowdown penalty. So, I could wonder if I didn't get that slowdown penalty. Don't know if he would have got by me before the first pit stop, and the whole race could have been different. But second's still really, really good. And like Dylan was saying, had to work so hard for that. Like, it looked like the gap would just stay the same the whole time. And maybe that doesn't look super exciting from an outside, but in the cockpit, it was just on edge the whole time. Like, didn't really have a chance to breathe.
Obviously for you, this is just kind of continuing the good results that we've seen the opening part of the season here. Obviously, winningest driver so far through the first 9 races helps out a pretty decent amount going into this 4-week off period. What is that off week period? What does that spring break do for you? Obviously, a month off. We will be back the first weekend in June to kick things back up again. But is this a much needed break to sort of recharge and get back at it and try to return to that victory lane as soon as we get back?
Yeah, it'd be nice to do really well at Pocono a month from now. Break's gonna be nice too, though. I'm going to the Coca-Cola 600 with a bunch of people, so that's gonna be really, really fun. Have that Sunday off, and I think Pocono is still gonna be on this version of the Gen 4 car, but I think after Pocono is when we get the new car, so that's gonna change everything. So it's kind of thinking of this as the end of this old era, really.
Well, a good way to come to an end of this new era. Just a handful of races left until we get to that point here. Obviously, kind of just walking through the calendar as things sit right now. We come back, it is going to be Pocono, which is genuinely the last race of this car as we know it right now on June 8th. So only one more race to go here. Obviously, a great way to kind of kick things off for the season, though. 9 races and a chunk of race wins here. Kind of just going through here. 9 starts, 3 race wins, 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s. A fantastic start of the season. Jacob, before we let you go and let you get ready for this off week and everything, or off this spring break and everything that comes with it, if there's anyone who want to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on an outstanding start of the season. And again, a triumphant championship lead going into this prolonged off season.
Yeah, thanks. I want to say thanks, Carmen, to you and everybody at ABN. It's been really fun checking out the broadcasts, and thanks to everybody running the league. It's super fun every Sunday night to come out and do this, and thanks for everybody racing. It's always a really fun crowd to race with and have a really good time with. So, yeah, thanks for having us.
Fantastic job for Jacob Potak. Pole position in a second place tonight to cement a championship lead going into this spring break. Jacob, enjoy it.
Thanks.
And we'll move right on down to Alex Chilcutt in third, one of the boldest at the front of the field. Two-tire pit stop under green flag conditions. Gained some time initially. It didn't quite pay out at the end. Alex, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Alrighty, two-tire stop for the track position. We know that tires were a huge conversation piece going into this race. Two-tire stop, was that the play, or do you regret not going for 4 on that stop?
Well, yeah, definitely not the play. It ended up being about 2 seconds slower per lap for the rest of the race, but I was planning on doing it anyway. I didn't expect it to be so bad.
Walk us through this race, because obviously you grabbed the lead initially. Really good run for the opening stanza. Obviously ran through the caution. Didn't lose it until late into that first half of the race. What was the big challenge for that zero car? Because it seemed like the car fell away a lot harder than it did for others throughout the field. Was that just a matter of the tire wear, or what was the issue that was causing some of these problems for you further down the line?
Yeah, it was definitely the tire wear, and then obviously taking 2 tires didn't help. It just compounded the issue further. Yeah, the 2 guys ahead of me were definitely able to save their rears a lot more, so it's a good job to them.
Obviously, it works out here still for you. A great result. I believe your first podium of the season in the 00 car. Give me 1 second, just double check that before I end up being wrong on all of that.
You're right. I've had a lot of good runs, but basically wrecked myself like every single time I had a chance at a good finish, so it feels good to finally not mess up.
And I was going to talk about that, obviously. A great race to get a good result of this for going into the spring break here, 4 weeks off. Is this the result you wanted to carry into that spring break, knowing that we're going to come back in and have one more race with this car before the new revitalized Gen 4s come out? Is that sort of the mentality, is just get that momentum as high as you can before that break?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I'm typically very strong at road courses, so to get a good finish here was absolutely the goal, and happy to come through on that.
You did a fantastic job with that here. Obviously, Pocono coming up on June 8th. That is a long ways away, so a lot of time to get ready for that race coming up here. Before we let you go and let you fully just de-stress and get ready for this long off break and enjoy the races coming up in real life, including the Indy 500, the Coke 600 that we know a lot of people are going to at the end of the month. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Always good seeing the 00 car, or the 0 car in this case, at the front of the field. Obviously, a lot of results not coming your way. This one does. Take it away.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to everybody who runs the league, everybody who runs the broadcast. This is a fantastic product, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. So thank you all.
A tremendous effort for Alex Chilcutt, leading some laps here. Led 10 today. Unfortunately, not able to grab the race win, finishing 3rd here in Montreal. Alex, enjoy it, and we'll see you again in Pocono. That was Chilcutt, your 3rd place finisher here tonight in Montreal, leading a handsome chunk of the laps led here. But it is 3rd place for him. Dylan Roberts and Jacob Potak, the front of the field here tonight. Ryan Andrew gave Chilcutt a run for his money. Could only manage 4th, though, ahead of Emily Howell, Sean Pellig, and the 48 for Hendrick Motorsports, right where he started this race in 6th. Lucas Davila, a big charge forward, up to 7th place for the Argentine. Ryan Hill, Evan Locke, and Nick Doucette in your top 10 as things stand. Again, following up to make sure that something did not change with the Ashley Collins situation, and I have not seen an update on that, so we'll consider these to be official until that changes. If it does change, Collins will end up being moved back to 10th, and everyone we're talking about just moves down a spot. Park Alexander, though, provisionally in 11th place, ahead of Christina Ryan, Kyle Benson, the 2 Star Wars race teammates there tonight for the May 4th event. 12th and 13th on the finish. Josh Chen in 14th after that late spin for him. Jeremy Davis in 15th. Ryan Doucette, Gabriel Mauricio, your defending champion Christian Budd, Steve Brown, and Mike Rasmus round out your top 20. Matt Sisler, Kirk Marble, Larry Pace, Matt Taylor, Brennan McGee, Jordan Barabee, Alex Bates, Austin Reedy, Anthony Kroback, Jose Solis Jr. That's your top 30. Jose Solis Jr. getting spun around late as well. Getting spun around, I think, twice on the last lap. So his day went from good to bad in a hurry here in Montreal. Moving on to the 31st position, Philip Snipes, Asti Kolonix. Obviously, Kolonix now officially being classified as a finisher. Last car on the lead lap in 32nd. Again, if this changes, Kolonix goes back to 10th. Everyone 10th on down, moves down a spot. That whole 9 yards. We'll see if that changes or not. Corey Cook in 33rd, the first car lap down. Matt Skipper. A lot of these cars had a lot of issues in this race. Road course racing, just not their forte. Trying to stick it out because the top 35 still matters, as it does for Andrew Griesbaum in 35th. Tom Willett in 36th, Brandon Cruz, Tyler Murray, Brandon College are going to be very controversial, the 66 car, after the stewards look at some of these incidents involving him here tonight in 39th. And looking down the order here, the 99 did not start this race, not a part of the equation. Ken Huff, Chris Bishop, Corey Steinhauser, your final three in the field here. Steinhauser starting and parking, Chris Bishop having a rough day, and Ken Huff also having an equally rough time here in Montreal. A wild weekend of racing. We're still live on YouTube for the A Square Cup Series race at Richmond if you want to join us over there for that. Tomorrow night, it's going to be the HTL Cup Series back on ABN. We're at Michigan for tomorrow night's event. Glad to have HTL back on ABN screens. That's going to be right here on Twitch on Monday, 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night. And then we have the ABN Champ Car World Series from Indianapolis, the Brickyard Grand Prix, on Wednesday, May 7th, 8 p.m., also here on Twitch. We're glad you joined us here for a wild weekend of racing. On behalf of everyone here for the Winstel Cup Series in ABN Studios, my producer behind the camera scenes, Anity Pulsatrix, I am Carmen Sienna. Thank you for joining us here at Montreal. Stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun this week. We'll see you tomorrow night in Michigan. So long, everybody.